You know that feeling when you get customer service that's just so good, so seamless, you kind of step back and wonder, how do they do that? Especially when it's a huge company. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the system that makes that magic happen.
I mean, really think about that. How do you do it? This is the big question for any massive organization. Take a huge hospital system like Vanderbilt University Medical Center. How on earth do they make sure every single person, from a world-class surgeon to the person in the billing department, delivers the same level of excellence every single time?
Well, I'll tell you the secret. It's not about just hiring a few superstars and hoping their awesomeness rubs off on everyone else. Nope, it's the result of a very deliberate, very intentional system. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to take that system apart, piece by piece.
Okay, so first up, let's just look at the what, the practical boots-on-the-ground steps that build this incredible culture. It really boils down to 5 core things that all feed into each other. It all starts with deciding what your culture is and making it completely non-negotiable. Like kindness is an actual job requirement. Then you hire for that attitude, you train for it like crazy, you empower your people to actually fix problems, and then, and this is key, you measure everything and hold your leaders accountable for it. It's the whole package.
And this quote, it just perfectly nails their hiring philosophy. For any job that interacts with patients, a friendly, empathetic attitude is priority number 1. They'll actually use behavioral interviews to find people who are just naturally wired to be helpful because they know you can't just teach someone to be kind in a weekend seminar.
And this is where a word like empowerment stops being some corporate buzzword and becomes a real, concrete action. Employees are literally told, you have permission to stop your real job to help someone. It's all part of what they call a no-pass policy. You can't just say, oh, that's not my department. If you get the question, you own the problem until it is solved, period.
Okay, so that's the what. We see the rules, the process. Now, let's peel back the first layer of the onion and get to the why. To really get why this system works so well, we actually need to look at a classic idea from psychology. And that idea is Hertzberg's 2-factor theory. Now, the main takeaway here is pretty mind-blowing. The things that make you unhappy at work are totally separate from the things that make you truly happy and motivated. They are not, as you might think, 2 sides of the same coin. So on one side, you've got what Hertzberg called hygiene factors. Think of these as the bare minimums: fair pay, safe conditions, policies that aren't insane. Getting these right doesn't make you jump out of bed excited for work, it just stops you from hating your job. But on the other side, you have the motivators. This is the good stuff: a sense of achievement, getting recognized for good work, having real responsibility. These are the things that actually create deep satisfaction and drive people to do amazing work. And here it is, the big aha moment. The superstructured, systematic part of Vanderbilt's model, all those rules and training programs, that provides fantastic hygiene. It keeps people from being dissatisfied. But it's the empowerment piece, giving people real authority to make decisions and solve problems, that actively engineers motivation.
All right, let's go another level deeper. Let's talk about the modern brain science, the actual neural engine that makes this whole thing go.
So a more up-to-date way to look at this comes from cognitive science. There's this framework that says our brains basically operate on 2 totally different tracks when we're at work: a primal track and an aspirational track.
Okay, so the primal track, that's our brain's ancient security system. It's always scanning for threats. It's all about safety, fair pay, predictability. You can think of it as the floor of motivation, and it lines up perfectly with Hertzberg's hygiene factors. Then you have the aspirational track. This is run by our more modern prefrontal cortex. It's the part of us that craves growth, mastery, and purpose. This is the ceiling of our potential, and it's powered by those motivators we just talked about.
And here is the absolute most important rule of this whole framework. You must get the floor right first. If people feel unsafe or that things are unfair, their brain's energy gets totally hijacked by that threat detection system. All their focus goes to just surviving, and no amount of inspirational posters is going to fix that. So this brings us to the last and maybe the most powerful piece of the puzzle. It's a really deep shift in mindset about who your employees are from the moment they walk in the door. The key here is a concept called metacognition. It's a bit of a sciencey word, but it just means our ability to think about our own thinking. It's self-awareness, it's self-control, it's the highest level tool we have as humans, and the best management ideas today are built on one simple assumption. Every single one of your employees already has it. This table really puts it all into perspective. Old models like Maslow's hierarchy saw employees as starting from a place of deficit, like they're at the bottom of a ladder and need help climbing up. Hertzberg starts them at neutral, but this new, metacognitive view, it sees employees as starting from a place of abundance. They've already won the lottery of being a thinking, self-aware human being. So the manager's job isn't to be a provider, it's to be a coach who just removes the barriers that are in the way. So the whole game changes. The goal is not to give people something they don't have. The goal is to create an environment that activates the incredible self-management tools they already possess. Okay, so let's tie this all together. We've gone from a real-world hospital to classic psychology to modern brain science. So what's the unified playbook for building a culture like this?
Well, here it is. You start with a rock-solid system like the one at Vanderbilt to create psychological safety. That handles the hygiene factors, and it quiets down the brain's primal threat alarm. Once that floor is solid, then you can design jobs that have real autonomy and purpose. That provides the motivators that let people reach for the ceiling. And the entire thing is built on a foundation of respect, treating your employees like the capable, self-aware people they are.
And really, the big takeaway here is that these models, Hertzberg, brain science, metacognition, they aren't fighting with each other. They're all just different tools in the same toolkit. They're different lenses you can use to understand the same incredibly complex and wonderful thing, what makes people tick at work.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. When you look at this whole system, from the hospital rules all the way down to our neural pathways, it kind of reframes what management even is. Maybe the job isn't just about managing tasks and projects. Maybe, just maybe, it's about consciously managing the environment where the human mind can truly thrive.